Hi guys, Paul here with Pat Tech. Welcome back to the channel, and for those that might be new, where the heck have you been? This is my little hobby channel where you can find videos on photography, video, tech-related stuff, etc., etc. So I guess that makes me kind of a techie, if you will. I've been called worse. What can I say? In this video, I'm going to review the NexiGo N970P 4K AI-powered webcam. Wow, that's a mouthful. Why, you might ask? Because in my day job, yes, I have one of those. My colleague and I are trying to improve the quality of our tech training content videos, and the old C920 is just not cutting it anymore. If you've used one of those, you know what I'm talking about. Before we jump in, full disclosure, I paid for this webcam myself, so my opinions are all mine. And as such, if this thing turns out to be junk, I would promptly say so. But, spoiler alert, if I was Logitech, I might be worried because this webcam has a lot to offer. So let's jump in and have a good look at this thing, shall we? N970P is powered by a Sony Starvis back illuminated sensor. That's a high quality sensor in short. It's AI powered, auto framing, and has a 90-degree field of vision, and also includes a 10 times digital zoom with a built-in flash memory, which basically allows it to retain presets to make your life easier during recording. It's also equipped with dual omnidirectional microphones, of which I'll give my opinions on later. And lastly, a 9.8-foot USB 3 cable for uncompressed output. So in short, this is not something somebody hacked out in their garage. So now let's see how it performs in the real world, shall we? Let's take a look. So I'm not a huge fan of box openings or box reviews, whatever you call them, but this thing comes in a very attractive box. It's hard cardboard. Mine came, I got it one piece. It's the webcam is packed in some high density foam, which is great. It comes with a nice little instruction manual, fairly well laid out, no issues there. And if you've seen some of the NexiGo webcam reviews, I guess it was their beta version or first version of this webcam, but the remote control is more like an Apple remote control. And so it's a little nicer looking, a little more futuristic. Though the other one that I saw, it looked like a TV remote control, something from the 70s or something like that. But look at this webcam. This thing is a chunk. Holy cow. On the back of it, it's got one of the old USB ports. So it comes with a 3-meter USB cable. It looks like this one is like the 5-pin type USB connector. But this is what beams your uncompressed footage to your computer. And this thing is like huge. Let me put it side by side. There's the C930E from Logitech, and there's the NexiGo webcam. So I think you get the idea, the difference in size. This is a premium piece of kit. I think it would cost me $234, tax included in Canada. But so two minor gripes that I have with the webcam, and that is this little flippy thing that comes to cover the lens. I mean, it's okay. I'm glad they included one because I appreciate that. I use it. I've got webcams over there that I use all the time. So it's a handy little feature, but it doesn't snap very securely onto the top of this thing. So I had to secure it in place with a piece of tape. Not something you'd expect for a premium piece of kit. And then on the bottom of this thing, the webcam itself, it feels a tiny bit plasticky, but you know, nothing really to worry about. When you put this thing on the top of your monitor, so I guess the best way to show you is if you look at Logitech webcams, they have this little foot that flips out, and that goes a long way to keeping this thing a little bit more secure on the top of your monitor. So I'd like to see NexiGo address that. And you know, you look at the little flippy thing on the top of Logitech, I mean, it's there and it's on and it ain't coming off, whereas this thing, it sits like it seems to slide back and forth fairly easy. But I'd like to see something that snaps on and is a little more secure, especially for something in this price range. But other than that, when you look at the quality you get out of this thing and the features that it has, holy smoking wieners, this thing is awesome. I really love it. So that's my box opening. Let's jump right into the performance of this thing, and then you can judge for yourself if this is something you want to get into. So let's start this review by looking at the video footage coming off of the NexiGo webcam, which is what we're doing right now. You're also listening to the audio. Isn't it awesome? I can just imagine how it's going to sound when I take this footage into post in a second. So, okay, I have my room lights off. I have no audio treatment on the walls. I have a monitor that is about 20 inches in front of me. So this is probably the saddest audio track you're going to get, but the video footage is pretty friggin' awesome. So it's set to 4K recording. And what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to switch it to the audio coming off my Zoom ZDM1, and you'll see a dramatic difference. Then we're going to compare the video to my Sony a6000 with the Viltrox 23mm lens. Audio still will be coming out of the Zoom ZDM1, but that'll give you sort of a baseline. That's where we're going to start with this review. Okay, so now you're listening to the soft, smooth sounds of the Zoom ZDM1. What a difference. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, the video, now you've got the video and the audio together. You got a 1-2 punch that's just phenomenal. So now let's switch over to the Sony, and we'll take a look at the Sony, but we'll stick with the Zoom audio. All right, so now you're looking at the Sony a6000 going through a Viltrox 23mm lens at f1.4 at 1/250th of a second. So notice the nice blurred background. You can control the light a little bit better. Well, you can control the light a heck of a lot better with this setup, but it gives you an idea. And you know, the footage coming out of the a6000 is 60 frames per second, 1080p. So it's full HD for sure. NexiGo is giving you 4K. The big difference is that it's actually, if you're using the NexiGo, you want to do green screen, the NexiGo is going to be really good because you know you don't want your green screen blurred out when you're trying to key out the green screen. You want everything sharp so you can get rid of as many pixels of the green as you possibly can. So I would say this is going to be a real game changer for me because I've got the option of using the NexiGo or the Sony depending on what I'm doing. And also in my day job, like I said earlier, I'm trying to help a buddy of mine improve his game as far as keying out and doing green screen for training videos. So this is going to make a huge difference for sure. All right, so as we're on the subject of green screen, I might as well show you some samples I shot, and you can see the difference between 4 green screen backgrounds and, you know, a couple of lighter backgrounds, a couple of darker backgrounds, and just watch the reflection on the sides. It's the 4K resolution, and this was done with a NexiGo webcam. It's really interesting to look at. Okay, so like I said, we're going to take a look at 4 different backgrounds, and the color in the background, they vary a little bit. What you want to do is pay attention to the green reflection on the side of my face here, because the reality is the backdrop is only 1.5 feet behind me, so it doesn't matter how good your camera is. If you want to get rid of that reflection, ultimately you want to be way far away from the background, like 4 to 6 feet if humanly possible. But at least this will give you a sense of the quality you're going to get from the NexiGo webcam. And as you shrink the video down, so if you just want to do picture-in-picture in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, it gets dramatically better. And most people won't even notice any fringing at all. Okay, so let's jump right into, first of all, we're going to cover 2 things. The software that you have to download that comes available for the NexiGo webcam. And so it looks, you know, similar to the Logitech software here, and it has a preview. If I click on the X here and click on preview, it opens up and you can see. So, you know, you've got a lot of the settings that you've come to know and love with Logitech webcams, only what I find is on the NexiGo, they seem to work a lot better for some reason. I'm just saying. So if I click the white balance, you've got that available. So far I've just been leaving it on automatic. I set anything I'm doing in photography and video, you know, I'm looking for daylight balanced lighting, 5500K. And what you're seeing in the background here is, so if I take this off, you know, this is the camera app in Windows 10. And then I can just click preview. You can see over top, and now I can see the adjustments that I want to make. So you can play with the brightness, contrast, hue, saturation, sharpness, gamma, backlight compensation. You can vary from 50 to 60 hertz if you're getting some flicker in the background from one of your lights, which I sometimes do from that little globe light there. The big news is that you can save presets. So if you make a bunch of adjustments here to these settings, and you want to save that for, say you want to save a preset for green screen, you can do so. And all you have to do is type in the name of it here, click save, and away you go, on to the next one. And so under advanced, you've got some more settings there. We can turn the auto exposure off, and we can play around with the exposure. You've got gain control, focus, zoom. Oh, that's a little too much, as handsome as I am and all. Right. You can pan back and forth, you can tilt. And like I say, I just find that with this webcam, it all works a lot easier than what it did on my older Logitech webcams. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for the software. So now let's take a look at the remote control, and we'll see what you can do with the remote control. So let's take a look at the remote control on the NexiGo webcam. And what you're going to notice is you got a power on off button, you've got a menu button, an indicator light up at the top here, the OK, 4 arrows, 3 presets, zoom in, zoom out, and your auto framing button in the middle here. So if I hit the menu button, top left, and so take a look under setup here and see what we can do here. If I press OK again, so auto framing is on, so if I'm moving around, there we go, the camera's going to move on, move and try and follow me, which it seems to be doing a pretty good job. And then you can set the sensitivity. I've left it to 0 and it seems to be working just fine. It'll zoom in and zoom out. So let's hit exit and exit again. Oh, maybe we missed one there. Image style. There's normal, clarity mode, there's a bright mode, there's a soft mode, and back to default. And you can flip the screen. And then your USB mode, that is the one thing you have that I don't really understand what that does. You've got bulk or ISOC. I'll have to do some research on that, but right now, honestly, I can't tell you. Exposure, pretty straightforward. So right now we're in the auto exposure mode, and your EV value, only when the exposure mode is in auto can you turn the EV on or off. It makes a slight adjustment. Actually, it makes a fairly big adjustment. You can see all the different settings changing. So we'll leave that on. So you can play with the EV level, backlight compensation, flicker, gain limit, and the dynamic range control. So you have that variability. So let's hit exit, and now let's go to color. Under color, you got white balance adjustment, so you can take it off auto. You can play around with your RG and BG tuning, saturation, hue, auto white balance sensitivity. So there's a real range. So if you don't like the color of your face or the look that you're getting from this webcam, you've got a ton of things that you can play around with to fix that up. Let's take a look under image. Look at this: brightness, contrast, sharpness, flip horizontal, flip vertical. Black and white mode is kind of fun. There's black and white, and there's back to color. And I just find that everything on this webcam seems to work. Like, the controls are great. You can play with the gamma, and you've got a low light mode. So let's hit exit here. And noise reduction, we'll take a look at it. I haven't had to play with it at all since I've had the webcam. It just seems to work, but you've got some adjustments there. You've got some version information down the bottom. If I click that, it tells you the firmware version that you're working with, and you want to make sure that you're up to date. And last but not least, you've got to restore default settings. So there's a full range of adjustment that you have in control with the remote control. And so far, I've been quite happy with just the software menu. I seem to use that more than I use the remote control. But either way, you've got a tremendous range of flexibility for making fine-tuned adjustments to this webcam image and audio. Okay, to wrap this up, in my humble opinion, I'm quite happy with this webcam, and I'm already reaping the benefits of using it. So I can therefore highly recommend it to my followers. That'd be you guys. But I'd like to hear your opinions if you have the time. Don't hesitate to connect in, drop me a line. Understood, it's not the cheapest offering out there, but you get what you pay for, in my humble opinion, and you really just have to decide if this is something that will help your workflow then add it to your kit. If not, you got to keep on searching. Thanks again for watching. If you found the video useful, please hit the subscribe and like buttons and smash that notification bell for me. That helps me bring more video content to you guys, and you won't miss upcoming videos. Adios, amigos, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.